Hey, friends, we've got something really special to invite you to, a free event, the Power of Pleasure Summit, hosted by your favorites, Dr. Willow and myself. We want you to stop settling for predictable intimacy and kickstart your sexiest year yet. We've got a live event February 11th through the 12th, 2 days, 16 sexperts, and it's all for free.
Let's kick Valentine's to the curb and just make the whole year sexier. You're going to learn how connection is the gateway to vitality, safety, and erotic power. You're also going to learn how to revive the spark in long-term relationships so that you could be having more intimacy, more fun, and more sex. And you're even going to learn about how to give a little lap dance to reawaken play, power, and embodied joy.
There is going to be a free replay period, so even if you can't join us live, you will have a chance to binge to your heart's delight. All of this is online, so you can tune in from anywhere in the world. Just go to sexreimagined.com/power-of-pleasure. We'll see you there.
Hello, everybody. We're so excited you're here with us. If stress, exhaustion, and mystery symptoms have hijacked your turn on, then biohacking may be your roadmap back to a vibrant sex life. Let's face it, everyone's talking about biohacking. We're going to talk more about what that is and how you can actually use it to create higher libido, higher levels of arousal, and way more fun in the bedroom. So we're excited you're here. I'm Dr. Willow Brown. I'm here with Leah Piper. We are the Sex Reimagined podcast, and we are so grateful for all your wonderful likes, shares, and subscribes.
So tune in, turn on, and fall in love with biohacking for better sex, baby.
Welcome to the Sex Reimagined podcast, where sex is shame-free and pleasure-forward. Let's get into the show.
All right. So let's start with what is biohacking. It's really the art of using both science, technology, and lifestyle interventions to really optimize your body's peak performance. And people are using it for all kinds of things in the wellness industry, for better endurance, for better sleep, for better digestion, for better cognitive capacity. But nobody's
and also
really
to look good, feel young, live longer, longevity, keeping that skin wrinkle free. There's so many things. We all want to look 20 years younger than we are. And biohacking is like the biggest buzz.
Absolutely. And not only is it a buzz out there on the health and wellness scene, but it makes you feel better. These targeted practices can be really used not only for all of your overall health and wellness, but also for your drive, your desire, your curiosity around your sexuality. Because let's face it, if we're feeling stressed, if we're feeling bogged down, if we're feeling inflamed and in pain, sex is like the last thing on our minds.
Yeah, so let's talk about first, what are the biohacks that people are already doing that they may not know is a biohack?
That's a good question. One thing that I think a lot of people are hopefully doing is, number one, drinking enough water. This is something that can absolutely change the game, and not only everything in your health and your sex life, but also just your mood. One of the leading causes of depression is actually dehydration.
Oh, is that right?
So there's a biohack for you. And, what a lot of wellness experts will say is that you want to drink half of your body weight in ounces. So let's say, I weigh 120. That means I'm going to want to drink 60 ounces of water a day. So you just kind of measure that out in the water bottles or the glasses that you're drinking out of.
If they're lucky, getting 16 ounces a day.
It's true. A lot of people are not drinking enough water. So if you are, congrats. And if you're not, start drinking more water. Yeah. And one thing I will say, a little extra biohack for drinking water, is sipping the water rather than just guzzling it down. Because when you guzzle it down, it goes right through you. When you sip it, your cells can actually take it in and use it and absorb it more.
I would also like to add that I think drinking enough water makes your genitals taste better. And your sexual fluids taste better.
That is so true.
And your mouth tastes better. I mean, there's a lot of just like the interest in someone wanting to have sex with you and do all sorts of dirty, yummy things to you, being hydrated, I think makes a big difference. It probably makes your hormones smell better. Like I have a feeling that hydration
Absolutely.
has a
Hydration is key.
lot of subtle things going on in the bedroom for one.
For sure. Absolutely. You know, and getting like some what are those called when you put the salts and the electrolytes, getting some electrolytes in your water too is also going to make all of your juicy fluids taste that much better. Which kind of leads me into you know, a microbiome. So a lot of people are talking about like, oh, is my microbiome healthy? People are taking probiotics and prebiotics these days. And that is a huge proponent of having a good taste in your mouth
Yeah.
and a good smell to your
Yeah.
breath. And, you know, all of these things that so many people don't even have consciousness around. They don't know that their breath is bad. They don't know that, you know, their microbiome in their gut is off and that it's
Or vaginally, like a lot of women, what
Yeah.
they're doing lately is taking probiotics targeted for the vaginal microbiome. It really helps with not getting yeast infections. If you're having like a lot of yeast happening, candida, that kind of thing can really disrupt the vaginal flora. So a lot of the probiotics are good for that, including other disruptions to the vaginal flora that can happen.
Yes, exactly. And here's what I want to say about keeping your vaginal flora healthy is keeping your gut super healthy. Your gut health is the foundation for all of your hormonal health, actually. So if you do have a well operating gut system and your microbiome is on, you are going to have much better hormonal regulation. So your testosterone, your estrogen, your progesterone levels, all of those things are going to be functioning so much more optimally. But here's the thing. So many people these days are suffering from gut dysbiosis because of all the gluten that they're eating and different foods that are eroding the gut wall lining. Now, this doesn't seem like a sexy topic,
Yeah.
gut wall lining, but it is essential to everything that we're talking about here. And so just taking probiotics, sometimes it's not going to absorb because the gut
Right.
isn't
Nutrition
healthy
is
enough.
key too.
Yeah,
And
nutrition
then
is
sleep
amazing.
is critical, and like all these things,
All
like it ends
these
up being
things.
a whole spectrum of things. You need to have wholeness in order to have epic sex. And it's one thing that people get really lazy about. It's like, oh, I wish my erections were harder, but I don't want to look at my diet and I don't want to look at my sleep and I don't want to look at my alcohol intake or my gut health. I
Yeah.
just want the fix to be easier, just
That's so true. They want the quick fix. They want the easy solution. And, you know, fortunately, a lot of things on the market these days, a lot of biohacking tools like peptides, for instance, can actually heal your gut wall lining faster than anything.
Mm.
So, you know, in order for absorption to be happening with your food that you're eating, hopefully you're eating a good, well-balanced, healthy, whole food diet. But if you're not, start there. But you need to be able to digest those foods, digest your herbs, your supplements, whatever you're taking. And so healing that gut wall lining with peptides is actually, we're going to have a more on that in future episodes, but that is such a crucial way to start getting things to work better in your body. Another biohack that's kind of all the rage right now that I love is breath work. Actually did a deep dive breath work session last night, and it was so powerful. I feel like when you're reoxygenating your system with breath work, you are, you're bringing so much more energy to all the extremities in your body that don't normally get that much blood flow or oxygen to them. And what I was experiencing last night during my breath work was my yoni was tingling like crazy. Like there was so much energy down there. There was so much blood flow and stimulation. And it was breath work can be really uncomfortable and it can also be really orgasmic. So we're going to have a breath working expert on the show pretty soon here for y'all to just kind of get more intrigued about that practice.
And what I love about the breath work thing that I think a lot of people are hearing, then they might go, oh, brother, breath work, like, oh, well, how fucking hippy dippy. But there's so much research now that is backing the legitimacy and the efficacy of breath work. Don't just toss it out of mind. This is something that you should be paying attention to if you are wanting more pleasure and hotter sex in your life. I think another biohack that everyone knows, but they may not know it's a biohack, is exercise.
Yeah.
Like getting outside and moving your body, getting into a gym and lifting some weight. Those things are so critical. And thank God there's so much research backing that, of how much more energy that gives you, how that de-stresses you, how that helps your feeling of well-being is critical. It's the number one intervention for fighting anxiety and depression. Nothing works better than that. There's not a pill that works better than that, though pills and exercise can help you if you're really suffering. So how does exercise help with your sex life?
Well,
because we know it helps with the things I just mentioned, but how does it directly affect sex?
Well, exercise actually boosts your mitochondrial health, which are the little things inside of your cells that give you more energy. So, I mean, this is something that we hear all the time from clients, is like, I just, I'm so busy all day, I'm so stressed all day, and then I just don't have the energy for sex. Like I don't feel like it. I just want to get in bed and go to sleep. Like last thing on my mind is sex. So, really, giving yourself even like 15 or 20 minutes of cardio movement where you're doing breath work if you're doing cardio movement, right? You're pumping your breath in and out of your body. You're pumping your heart rate. All of that is going to boost
helping your circulation.
Exactly. It's going to make your whole every cell in your body is going to then have more energy for everything in your life, but especially for sex. And then I think it's really about like, how are you allotting, when you have this all of a sudden newfound energy in your body, where are you putting that energy? Are you putting it back into the cycle of stress in your life? Or do you want to refocus and put it toward, your intimacy with self, intimacy with other? There's so many incredible ways that you could reallocate your attention.
Well, I think just by its very nature, when you are committed to having an exercise routine, your cortisol levels are going to drop, but you're also going to be more attractive because you're going to be healthier. You're going to be stronger. Your vitality is going to shift. You're going to simply look better. You're going to be more attractive, which means people are going to want to fuck you. And it is so hot and so sexy when someone desires you. When someone like looks at you like they want you as a snack, that feels really, really good. And it increases our desire to even want to have sex. So I think that alone is really important. And the whole circulation thing. I mean, look, if you are having a hard time with your libido, if you're having a hard time getting aroused, if you're having a hard time getting erections, whether you're a man or a woman, that circulation, making sure that your circulation is really healthy and flowing, that's what's going to make you feel young and full of vitality. It's going to help your erections, whether you have a vulva or you have a penis. So being sure to like get those bodies moving is going to decrease atrophy in your muscles and in your circulatory system. Plus, it also helps with your hormones. If you are lacking in testosterone, you got to exercise. Your body will regenerate testosterone. But if you're just sitting on your ass, it's got nowhere to grow. Right? Am I right or am I wrong here, Doctor?
Absolutely. I like the way you just said that. If you're just sitting on your ass, it's got nowhere to grow.
Literally, sitting on your ass actually fucks with your circulation. And if you're on the computer 9 hours a day, like most of us, doing your job, there's a reason why erectile dysfunction is going up percentage-wise in our culture. It's because many of us are sitting too long.
Yeah. So make sure you're taking regular breaks when you're at work and get a standing desk if you can. Now, all of these things that we're talking about are incredible biohacks. There's some phenomenal detoxes on the market. I'm actually going to be promoting some in the early January 2026. So if anyone's interested in that, just reach out to me because I got the best detoxes on the market. some of the things, the reason that this biohacking is so important for our sexuality, our health, our sleep, our longevity, all of that is because our environment is riddled with toxins. Like we actually, I think, I can't remember the exact numbers, but by the time a person dies and an autopsy is performed, they're finding like 0.05% plastic in the brain. Like all these little microplastics that are roaming around our environment, they get into our cells, they get into our body, and they start to kind of like shut down the cell. They can shut down the mitochondria, they can shut down all the other cellular constructs so that that cell starts to go into like it starts to age basically, right? And so what we want to do with all of these things that we're talking about, breath work and detoxing, and it's fun. It's actually, I know it sounds like a lot of work, but it's actually feels really good and it's really fun. And exercising, it will absolutely clear all of these environmental toxins that we're living with. So plastics is a huge one. All of these are endocrine dysregulators, phthalates, all of these things, they mimic estrogen. So when they come into our body is like, oh, we've got enough estrogen from that plastic water bottle or from that soap or from that detergent or from that cleaner. So we don't need to make it, right? So then our glands start to shut down because the bloodstream and the other glands in the body are reading like we already have enough estrogens, but they're actually these xenoestrogens or fake estrogens that are coming from outside the body. So we really want to get those out of the body. This is really important. There are a lot of detoxes on the market that you do the cleanse and you're like, oh, I feel headachy, I feel achy, like I just don't feel good. Because what happens is the cleanses are pushing those toxins out of the cell, but they're not catching them and then taking them to the colon to be excreted into the toilet. So we actually need that catch to happen as well. So there are specific detoxes on the market that really support that. Quicksilver Scientific's Push Cats is really the best detox for that. So
okay, so you're saying that there's all these estrogens out in the environment that are getting into our system that is preventing normal estrogen production. And we need to do cleanses and detoxes to move those unhealthy estrogens that are fucking with our hormone levels and do a cleanse to get them out. But the type of cleanse matters.
Absolutely. Thank you for the recap. Yeah. Doing a liver cleanse at least once a year, I think, is one of the best biohacks you can do. And having it work on the kidneys, the liver, the lymph, and your cellular membranes, that's what this particular one is all about. So you really want to get all those systems in there because these things, when they get stuck in our bodies, they're going to cause not only sexual dysfunction, like not being able to have the erections you want, not being able to have the orgasms you want, they're also going to cause irregular periods. They're going to cause fertility issues in both men and women. They're going to cause PMS, painful periods, mood disorders, mood swings. I've been working with some clients recently, and I actually have a lot of male clients right now who are struggling with anger. It's like they're just frustrated, they're angry, they can't seem to get past their that sort of like overly testosterone, influenced energy. And so doing cleanses like this is going to totally reset their mood as well as their body.
Yeah. And I imagine getting these toxins out of your system is going to help you have a more restful night's sleep, because just like exercise, you got to have natural, real good, deep sleep for your body to repair and replenish you and help balance your hormones and keep your weight in check and be able to make you more filled with vitality. If you are getting shitty sleep, you are living a shitty life. I mean, the two go hand in hand. We're going to do a whole episode regarding sleep and its relationship to sex. We'll do a deep dive into peptides in another episode. Where else are we going to do a deep dive coming up with some of this biohacking?
Well, we're definitely going to have an expert on breath work come in. We're going to have someone come in and really show us and teach us more about movement, fun, playful movement. So that'll be really fun because I think there's, one thing that I'm always noticing in my sexuality and sex life is like when my alignment of my body is on point, like my postural, structural frame feels healthy, it feels aligned, it feels pain-free, you better bet I'm going to be having better sex and better orgasms. So we'll be bringing in experts on all of this stuff.
Yeah, including bioidentical hormones for those of you who need more hormonal support, because sometimes those hormones, as wacky as they get, they're keeping you up at night and causing other dysregulatory symptoms.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you guys, one thing I want you to know is if you are interested in looking into peptides and doing some detoxes, Dr. Willow is your girl. Like, call up Homegirl and get yourself with someone who's done all the appropriate research, who takes these biohacks into her own life, has tested a lot of things. You've got someone who will have your back. You can get a free consultation with Dr. Willow if you go to drwillow.com/free-consultation, and she'll take good care of you.
Thanks for the commercial, love.
You're welcome.
If you just go to my homepage, actually, you'll see a free consult button at the very top. So just click that. So, in addition to all of these sort of environmental toxins, molds, if you've been exposed to mold, that's going to be a huge libido killer. Parasites, that's going to be a huge libido killer. All of these things can easily be cleaned up. We've got all the solutions for that. And we just really want you thriving in this next year because we are moving from the year of the snake to the year of the horse. And so it is time for us to get up off the ground and start galloping off into the sunset. So what is your sunset? What does it look like for you? Let's get intentional about this year of the horse. There's a lot of fire. It's the fire horse year. So there's a lot of yang energy. And we want to make sure that our systems are just at top notch so that we have the energy to go where we want to go. So
Speaking of feeling like stuck with your energy is what about people who have chronic pain?
Yeah.
Like for instance, all of those inflammatory disorders from Crohn's disease, arthritis, all those things.
Peptides, baby, they are the way of the future, and they are doing wonders for people's pain and inflammatory issues and autoimmune issues.
That's what I wanted to. Well, that was the word I was missing. Yeah.
Autoimmune. Yeah. So we're so blessed right now to live in a time where these are available. They're on the market. You can buy them from companies who are very reputable, very safe, and you can actually take your health and wellness into your own hands. I think in the past we were so dependent on what the doctor says and what the labs say. And it's good. I'm not saying don't go see your doctor and don't run labs. Do that for sure if you feel that's right for you. But there are a lot of things that you can do for yourself without having to go through those loopholes. You can actually really learn how to take your health into your own hands. And another, like I said, we've got these environmental toxins, but we've also got stress, like just the pressure of making the bills, the pressure of making sure that your communication is good with your partner, the pressure of going on dates, wherever you're at in your life, there's all this sort of stress and pressure that we put on ourselves, which is based on not being in the present moment often, right? It's often based on anxiety about the future or regret about the past. So meditation is another huge biohack, I would say, because it drops your heart and your mind into a state of coherence so that you're moving forward in your life with so much more space to receive. This is one thing we never really learned. This could be a biohack in and of itself, is being a good receiver, because we never really learned how to receive when we were growing up in school. And, over time, you may have learned how to be a better receiver, but so many of us are like, oh, somebody gave me something, I need to give them something back. So already we're putting pressure on ourselves and stress to reciprocate. Can we just open ourselves to receive all the gifts that the universe really wants to give us and take the pressure and the stress off of ourselves? So in meditation, we can also get aligned with what it is that we want to experience in our lives. So not just like, I want to manifest a new car, or I want to manifest $1 million, or whatever we want to manifest, but more like, I want to feel free. That's what I want. That's what that car will bring me, or I want to feel like I can go on that trip or go on that vacation without feeling stressed and limited. So when we're in meditation practices and mindfulness practices and visualization practices, what we're really working toward is like, what is the reason that you want that thing, or you desire, you crave that thing? What's the feeling that you want to get from it? So we can walk around all day. Let's call that a biohack too. Like, we have the choice to walk around all day in that feeling. I already have $1 million. I can take any trip I want. Or I already have that car. I have the freedom to go wherever I want. You can trick your body basically into resonating at a frequency that will draw those things to you with so much more ease.
Let's take a quick break.
Hey guys, what would it be like if you could last 10 times longer when you're having sex?
We are going to teach you how to gain massive confidence as a lover, all without performance anxiety, gimmicks, or prescription.
This course is perfect for you if you've ever been mortified by a sexual encounter that ended way too early.
Or if you've ever avoided intimacy out of fear that you won't last as long as your lover desires. Or maybe you long to give your partner multiple orgasms but can't last long enough to make that a reality.
Well, good news, we've got your back, and it's in our course, Last 10 Times Longer. Go to sexreimagined.com/last-10x-longer.
And for all of our favorite listeners out there, we are giving you a discount, 20% off, y'all. Just put in podcast 20, all caps, podcast 20, to get your 20% off of this phenomenal course that you're going to want to review more than once.
We cannot wait to see you inside this course. Plus, don't forget, we always got tons of bonuses. See you there. Yeah, so it doesn't actually have to take a ton of time to begin a meditation practice.
No.
I think a lot of times people don't start because it's like, fuck, I'm already so stressed out. I've got to pick the kids from school and get them to their practices. I've got to get dinner on the table. I've got a project that's got a deadline. I've got a relationship to a partner that I have to remember to like slow down and try to have sex with them at least once a week, maybe once a month. So like the idea of like trying to come up with a meditation practice that you can visualize when you're already fatigued, you're having relationship issues, you'd rather just have a drink, and you're on antidepressants that are dulling you in the first place. Like, I know that it might sound overwhelming, the idea of adding one more thing to your plate, but what you need to know, and what meditators will tell you, along with people who make time to exercise will tell you, is that when you give yourself the gift of a 10-minute meditation every day, or you do some breath work for 5 minutes every day, and you get into the gym and you lift some weight for 30 minutes a day, it pays you back in energy. Those things will give you more space to produce better results, to live the life that you're feeling so tired over. It'll give you energy. And it's strange because it feels like it's going to cost you energy at first, but it ends up paying you back twofold. So the key is to just start a practice and try to find some consistency. The first 3 to 5 times you start the practice, going to the gym and quieting your mind for 5 minutes, it's going to feel like a lot of resistance. There's going to be a little bit of a struggle. It feels like you're walking up a hill. But if you can get past that first 2 weeks, you'll start to see, oh, I'm going downhill. The ride's easier, and it gets easier, and it gets easier. And the key is to just keep on showing up, even when you don't want to. And then you'll crave it. It's like it's like, something's wrong if you don't have it. You'll be rushing to it instead of like coming up with excuses why you shouldn't do it. So just like prepare yourself that in the beginning, it's going to feel a little bit like tug of war. Just get through the slog of that. It will change.
Yeah, I love that you're bringing that up. It actually takes 90 days for a cell to be born, live its life cycle, and die. So there is something about committing to 90 days, 3 months worth of breathwork practice, or getting into the gym practice, or, eating, however many, fruits and vegetables, or drinking those extra cups of water a day. So getting started, like Leah said, you just start with those first 3 days, and then get yourself to those first 3 weeks, and then get yourself to those first 3 months. I mean, you're gonna see a massive difference in your body, in your energy, in your mood. I mean, I really want all of us, we need all hands on deck for what we got going on this planet right now, right? So we want all of us living at our most optimal potential. And
Yeah.
it really just does take committing to yourself. And commitment, that word commitment can feel like another pressure and another stress in and of itself. So I like to kind of actually wake up in the morning and think like, what can I offer myself today? What can I offer myself so that I feel more resourced, so that I can offer my gifts to the world? So I think we live in a society where there's a lot around, what can I get out of it?
Yeah.
What can I get from this person? What can I get from this device? What can I get? What can I get? What can I get? And that creates a real lack mentality. So we're kind of always in this like, I don't have it, so I need to go get it.
Yeah.
And there's this reaching thing that happens when we're doing that, where we're not actually sitting in our worth, right? We're not sitting like on our throne of sovereignty, where it's like, well, I'm worthy of that, so let me just sit here and receive it, let it come to me. And the way that we can start to shift that and get more engaged with these biohacks to shift our whole system and our whole lives is to think about, what can I offer? What can I offer the world around me?
Yeah. What
can
do I
offer
need in order to offer my best?
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
I think another biohack that isn't on our list but should be is community. Because again,
one.
so much research that shows how trying to do this shit by yourself, the percentage of success is so much lower than when you do some of these things in groups, where you have accountability partners and you all have a common goal and you're being each other's cheerleaders and you feel like you're doing it in a place of connection, which again leads to better sex. Like when we don't look at our partner as being the sole person that meets all of our needs, we realize that we're a part of a community and a tribe, and there's lots of people that help take care of our needs. And we're also helping other people with their needs. Because sometimes, kind of going back to this, what can I get? We can get so self-centered on what am I getting and what's wrong. And it's me, 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 me. And when we can turn around and go serve something else, our life starts to flourish, because we're not in this like self-centered loop. So it's like wonderful to have a group of people who are all learning to meditate together. Every town has an insight meditation center, which is a Buddhist center that does, an hour every week, where you come and you go into silent meditation. There's usually a talk followed by 20 minutes of silence. Awesome place to get into community where you're learning to slow down your mind. There's all sorts of exercise groups that you can join with the favorite type of exercise that's going to make you feel really good, whether that's yoga or Pilates or lifting weights or going on walks. I mean, there's so many ways to get your body moving, and to do that with people who have a shared goal, your success is so much greater. And if you're single, the chance where you're going to meet somebody organically, where you can unplug from all the apps, is another wonderful thing to do for your mental well-being. So many of these things, even like going into AA, to take a break from drugs and alcohol, if that happens to be your vice, or eating too much. There's all sorts of like healthy cooking clubs. There's so many ways to get connection. And that connection can lead to some really interesting love opportunities. And so I think it's a really important biohack because when we are connected to a community, our life starts helping us see more meaning and purpose. And meaning and purpose is one of the most important things for the number one killer in our country, which is loneliness and isolation. And it's such a temptation just to pull into isolation when we don't feel good. We just want to be left alone. And it's actually a really kind of dangerous thing that we should try to avoid. It definitely does not contribute to our vitality when we are by ourselves too much.
Let's take a quick break.
Hey guys, what would it be like if you could last 10 times longer when you're having sex?
We are going to teach you how to gain massive confidence as a lover, all without performance anxiety, gimmicks, or prescription.
This course is perfect for you if you've ever been mortified by a sexual encounter that ended way too early.
Or if you've ever avoided intimacy out of fear that you won't last as long as your lover desires. Or maybe you long to give your partner multiple orgasms but can't last long enough to make that a reality.
Well, good news, we've got your back, and it's in our course, Last 10 Times Longer. Go to sexreimagined.com/last dash the number 10 x dash longer.
And for all of our favorite listeners out there, we are giving you a discount, 20% off, y'all. Just put in podcast 20, all caps, podcast 20 to get your 20% off of this phenomenal course that you're going to want to review more than once.
The link is in the show notes. We cannot wait to see you inside this course. Plus, don't forget, we always got tons of bonuses. See you there.
110%. I mean, it's so much more fun to do a detox with a group. It is so much more fun to do breath work with others. It is so much more fun to like go on a run or a jog with a friend or even your dog, you know, like there's
it's so much more fun to have sex with somebody else than by yourself.
Why, you know, it can be really fun to be on your own too.
Well,
both can be really
it's
good.
It's not about either or.
Yeah, both can be great for sure. Yeah, there's just so many things that when we are tribe people, we are tribe community. And so,
I think we forget that in our day and age.
Oh, 100%. It's so easy to get stuck behind your screen and just be on your own in your house all day. That was me yesterday, actually. And sometimes those days are good too. You know, sometimes you need those days to like kind of move.
Wonderful.
Yeah, but move things forward in your own life. But we definitely need each other as humans. We need to laugh. We need to have fun. We need to play. Those are the things that are going to actually help you co-create what you want more of in your life. When you're in that frequency and you're in that energy, that's when more of it comes to you. So depending on where you're at already in your biohacking journey and in your exercise and your healthy routine journey, some of this might sound like, oh yeah, I'm just going to start picking up breath work every day. Like that might be a new little nugget that you pick up. Others of you might be like, oh my God, I feel overwhelmed. Like I need to do all of that stuff. Where do I even start? So I would just encourage everyone to just pick one thing. What's one new biohack that you really want to spend the next 3 days with, spend the next 3 weeks with, and spend the next 3 months with? And pop it in the comments so that we can see like what you're focusing on. You're putting that into the universe. Like, yes, this is the one I want to focus on.
So let's just summarize a little bit in terms of biohacking. And we just want you to think about one of these. One thing that you can do to affect some change and to plug into living longer, having better sex, and looking fabulous. So that is going to be from sleep to exercise, saunas, detoxes, breath work, meditation, community, peptides, better sleep, better supplements. We didn't really talk much about supplements. I think you want to just throw down that people could start taking as a biohack that's affordable, easy to do.
Yeah, I mean, we are going to do a deeper dive on that, but you definitely, if you are over 37 years old, you should be on ashwagandha like every day. for
Yeah,
your
great.
adrenal glands, because your adrenals are like your battery. They are the root of your libido. They're the root of your hormones. They're the root of your mood. And the king herb for your adrenal glands is ashwagandha.
Great. We've talked about better circulation and looking at hormone replacement. And I think that kind of covers it.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's choose one. Just choose one that you're like, okay, I'm going to look into that because that seems like I could easily add that to my repertoire and I will feel a lot better if I do. I know for myself, I am choosing breath work. After last night's session, I was like, God, I need to be doing this every single morning. So that's my commitment to myself, is just to wake up in the morning and to do anywhere between 5 to 15 minutes of breath work. And then to move on into my exercise routine because I like to get up and move generally. So this is a way that I can actually wake up, because I also like to wake up before the sun. I think that's another amazing biohack that we don't really talk about much or isn't really seen as a biohack, but there is something about really regulating your circadian rhythms when you
Yes.
are waking up just a little bit before the sun rises. And in that dark, quiet morning time, doing meditation, mindfulness, even long, slow, deep breath work can be really, really useful. There's a coherent breath that brings your heart and your mind into a state of coherence, meaning that they are absolutely on the same page and you're in a deep state of inner peace. You know, you're not thinking about what I don't have and what I need to get and all the stress stuff. You're actually in a state of total presence and total peace. And so that coherence breath, we'll mention it more on the breathwork episode, but that is just basically a long, slow, deep breath in, about 5 seconds, followed by a long, slow, deep breath out, about 5 seconds, keeping it even and steady on the way in and even and steady on the way out. I am very, very blessed to be a part of a heart coherence group. We meet every Thursday. And this amazing guy here in Santa Barbara created this device. He mimicked a lot of it from the Heart Math Institute. Heart Math Institute, if you're not familiar with them, they help you. They have all these like bio devices basically that you can wear so you can see when your heart rate variability is going into a state of coherence. So he took some of their technology and information and he created this whole other thing, this whole other device where we sit around in a group and we wrap this little thing around our solar plexus. It reads right from our power center, which is so cool. And then we've each got a little screen in front of us and we can see our heart rate variability and we can see through specific breathing, this 5 seconds in and 5 second out exhale. Just by doing that, we can see that our heart rate variability goes into the green, which is the coherent place. And then you can make yourself go back down into the red by starting to fret and worry and think about the past and think about the future. It's pretty remarkable. So our bodies are like these incredible machines that we can utilize to bring our minds into a place where we are more open and more available and more present. So with that heart coherence breath, just doing that for I would say maybe 15 minutes in the morning or even 5. If you even can get 5 minutes in the morning, it's going to set you up for a completely different experience throughout your day.
Well, this conversation is so inspiring me. I mean, you just hearing you talk about that, it's like I'm remembering like when I was so much more committed to my yoga practice and breathing really consciously before the asana practices and then watching and feeling and really seeking out those moments in yoga where my breath is carrying me into the next asana. And like there's such a flow state that happens. I know for me this coming year, I've got some goals. One is getting back to getting a trainer. I'm committed to getting a trainer and really increasing my muscle mass, knowing how important that is to my perimenopausal body and getting my skeleton really strong, getting my muscles really strong, and really focusing on being one of those women that is just so strong and tight heading into mid-age. and having more sex with Matt. We had a great lovemaking session a few days ago, and where we did all the things. We prepped the bed, we warmed the oils and the lubes, we had a couple toys just in case we wanted to throw them into the mix. We're changing different positions. I spent time massaging his body, he spent time massaging my body. So there was just like all that nice honey time where you get to kind of drop in and it's not rushed, and we felt so high from it. It was like there was so much more connection. And so like having that be being more consistent, because it's so easy when you're a couple, like that can just go to the wayside as life gets busy, and like coming back and remembering, oh, this is what makes having a romantic partner so special, is you get to do these things with your person. And it always is amazing to me how easy it is to forget that that's the reason why you came together in the first place. So we're really like recommitting ourselves to
I
be
love
more
that.
consistent
Yes.
with our own sexual practices and like living what we teach. And he's just started going into a relationship coaching program.
Oh,
So he's getting
great.
some certifications to become a relationship coach. Watching him on fire has been
That's so
so
good.
fun. And I feel like, okay, good. There's someone else who's going to like take a leadership role in
Yeah.
our relationship as he serves other people. Now he can
Yeah.
serve us. And it's
Yeah.
just not on me to kind of keep that energy going. So really excited about how that emerges in the new year. And the other thing I really want to get into is Qigong.
Yeah.
I want to
Qigong,
find a
baby.
community to do Qigong here in Sacramento. And then I want to be able to have my own practice of Qigong. So I'm going to be researching some teachers here locally. I wish Dr. Willow Brown lived here locally, because then I'd have my own private Qigong teacher.
Of course. Well, you always can just hop right into my living sexology program, and it's all right there
It's
for
all
you.
there. So yeah, I
It's
got
all
to plug
there.
into
You have
that.
no excuse. You could open it today, although that is being in front of the computer. But once you kind of get the movements, then it's really nice to just go out into nature and do those movements on your own. And that's such a nice thing to do with a partner too. I used to have a partner that I did Qigong with, and it was so blissful. It was really, really nice to do. As a unit. Now, as you're talking about sex, I was like, wait a second, sex is a biohack. Like having regular
That's right.
orgasms, that is a biohack. That is going to increase everything, your circulation, your sleep, your
Your
mood,
hormonal health.
everything. So sex in and of itself is a biohack, whether you're having it by yourself or with a partner. So don't let your nether regions go to the wayside. Like make sure they're getting resourced along with everything else that you're
Especially if you're a
resourcing.
vulva owner, because I
Totally.
think sometimes men will shoot for orgasms because there's such an immediate relief, because your orgasm will drop your cortisol. So I think sometimes men overplug into the sexual relief where women underplug into sexual relief. So vulva owners out there, are you having enough orgasms? If you're not with your partner, that doesn't excuse you from having orgasms with yourself. So really prioritize that this year if you haven't.
100%. Yeah. So I think that's it for this episode. We're
Yeah.
so thrilled to be kind of on this track and bringing this more forward, because I think it's really going to change the way that you approach sexuality. You know, we've been talking about tantra and Taoist stuff for a long time, and we'll continue to talk about that. But we really wanted to bring this in as well, because this is so important to your tantric practices and your Taoist practices. It's going to amplify and make all of your sensational experiences so much more sensational.
And hey, do us a favor, shoot us an email at support@sexreimagined.com. Tell us if you want more episodes like this. Tell us what kind of episodes you want. We're here to serve you. We want our show to be curated by our audience. So we're going to be experimenting all year with some different sexuality episodes. Biohacking is going to be a feature for the next couple of weeks or longer, next couple of months even. So if this isn't your jam, would you tell us? If this is your jam and you want more, please give us
Please
more
tell us.
ideas.
Yeah.
Because you're who we want to serve, and we need to hear from you. You can always comment on any of the platforms you're listening or watching us on, but it may just be faster and more simple if you send us an email.
Absolutely. Support
With
at sexreimagined.com, and we'll see you soon.
Love you long time.
thanks for tuning in. This episode was hosted by Tantric Sex Master Coach and Positive Psychology Facilitator Leah Piper, as well as by Chinese and Functional Medicine Doctor and Taoist Sexology Teacher Dr. Willow Brown. Don't forget, your comments, likes, subscribes, and suggestions matter. Let's realize this new world together.
Ladies, do you want to explore your sexuality and experience true sexual healing?
The Vaginal Orgasms Masterclass teaches you and your partners how to unlock your full sexual potential and awaken the G-spot, the sacred spot, and the cervix for an unforgettable sexual experience. Would learning how to finally surrender and release grief, fear, and uncertainty benefit your outlook on life, love, and relationships? We certainly think so. Common misconceptions of the G-spot, including its anatomy and function as an erogenous zone, will be covered in this course.
Plus, we're going to teach you 7 different massage strokes for the G-spot that dissolve blocked energy and increase your pleasure tenfold.
We're going to teach you how to locate the sacred spot and the best methods to stimulate it for maximum pleasure.
And you're going to learn about cervical orgasm techniques, which are the most powerful and also often elusive style of climaxing. You know, this class is primarily geared toward women, but men have taken it as well and learned so much about how to pleasure their partners.
So get ready for multiple O's, my friends. And you can get all of that at sexreimagined.com/female-masterclass. And for being a listener of the show, we've got a beautiful coupon code for you. It is 20% off this course. Just type in podcast20, that's all caps, podcast20, and get yourself a great deal on this on-demand course.